I've brought the notepad back here for string 1 javabat lastTwo. Might have to read the directions a couple times on this one to really get it, but what we're going to try to do is swap the last two letters. So for example, in the word coding, the N and the G switch positions. So this is going to take some substrings and some concatenation, and then we'll be able to put this string back together. Okay, so I've written out coding here, and I'm definitely interested in the length of this string, which is 6, and I've indexed every letter. And I've thought to myself, okay, there's kind of 3 pieces that I want here, and I'll concatenate them together. First, I'll take the first 4 letters, C-O-D-I. Those are not going to be altered. You could store those in a string named A. You could put letter N by taking a substring of 4, 5 into a string called B. And you could put a letter substring 5 into a string C, which would be the last letter, G. If you had these 3 substrings all declared and initialized, then what you could do is you could concatenate together A plus C plus B, and it would work perfectly. Okay? Everything would fall into place. You'd have the first 4 letters in front, that last letter G would go into the middle, and the N would go to the very end of the string. Okay? If we look at another example like cat, the same exact thing is going to happen. Now, what this means is that our code has to be dynamic. Okay? We can't just put numbers in. I can't put 0 and 4, 4 and 5, because that would only work for 6-letter words. Okay? And if I put 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, that's only going to work for a 3-letter word. We have to write code that's going to work for any length word. Okay? So you might notice some patterns here. The length 6 minus 2 could be the end of substring A in this case. And the length 3 minus 2 could be the end of substring A here. Okay? Take that length 6 minus 2 minus 1. We'll get the substring needed for B. And take that length 3, like the word cat, minus 2 minus 1 would give us the index needed for that B string. And then finally, string C, okay, could just be the length minus 1. And we've seen that before. That's how we get the last letter of a string. Okay? And same exact thing would happen with the concatenation here. Now, there are some extreme cases to consider. Okay? If we have a 2-letter word and we follow that same pattern, that means you would take length minus 2, okay, like I did here where I took 6 minus 2 to give me the 4. If I did that same exact thing here, 2 minus 2 would be 0. This is actually okay. This is not going to be any type of compile or runtime error. This would actually just generate an empty string. It would not take character 0 because it is exclusive of the second index, and therefore we'll get no letters. It'll just be, it's not a space character, it's a length 0 empty string. Okay? You would then do 0 to 1 if you follow the same pattern from up above where you do length minus 2 and length minus 1. So 2 minus 2, 2 minus 1, okay? That would give me the letter A. And if I did 2 minus 1, I'd get the letter B. And when I did my concatenation trick, the letters would swap places. It'd be perfect. All right? And there are some other cases, like what if we had a length 1 string? Well, then there's no last 2 characters. You can't swap 2 letters if there's only 1 letter. Or if they gave us an empty string. Okay? If there's only 0 letters, you can't swap anything. So that could easily be fixed with an if. Okay? So we'll just say if you take the length of the string and it's less than 2, at that point what you'd want to do is just return the string unaltered. Okay? There weren't any special directions given, like to put in an @ character or a star or return the empty string. So we'll just basically give back the string as is. At this point, what we'd want to do is we want to turn all of this into code. Since we're reusing the length several times, you might actually want to just go ahead and make a variable out of it. That way you don't have to keep retyping. So you could say int len for short, make that your length, and then you could just kind of reuse len throughout the problem. But it wouldn't be incorrect to just keep typing in str.length. Remember, in a return method, you don't really need to use the word else, because if we do encounter a short string, it's going to stop right here. Okay, so I've gone ahead and typed in the missing code here for us. Basically what I did was I just created those 3 strings exactly like we detailed on the notepad. And remember, we want our code to be dynamic, not static. Okay, so what that means is it can adapt to any length string. So you'll notice that I didn't put in numbers like 0, 4, 4, 5, okay, or 0, 1, 1, 2. Instead, what I did was I looked for the pattern between the length of the string and the numbers that we saw in those indexes. So by using things like 0, len minus 2, len minus 1, I've made my code dynamic so it could adjust to any length string. We want our code to work for every example, not just the given examples. And then, like I said earlier, I just went ahead and concatenated together out of order A, C, and B, and then that caused the swap between B and C. So it's important to note here too that we didn't just swap the last two letters. We had to actually grab the first letters of the string and bring them in here too, so we don't lose anything. Okay.